Ray, can you hear me?
Hey, Joe Schmieder, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm driving to South Padre to speak at a conference. So I'm doing this on the side of the road. How you been?
Okay. I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. A little crazy busy, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, especially as with the registry when we transition from March to April, it's just madness. So,
Yeah. I was talking to one of my staff members this morning, and they're trying to run a report on education programs. So they're talking to someone down with the registry, and the issue was you used to be able to run a report for the Joe Schmieder education program. You get all the classes. Now you got to run a report by each level. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked. I only heard about it. But
yeah. So I met with the IT team on that same topic yesterday, or maybe it was Monday. It's all a blur, but I think we've got a fix coming for that. At least I hope we do. So that you could select all, kind of do a state report like we used to.
yes.
And then, or you could multi-select several agencies or several, let's see, it'd be programs, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I know they've been working. We put results in our newsletter, and the poll, you want to pull them all to get the state average and all that kind of stuff. So I know they're working it. Hey, Maddie.
Hello, Joe. Aren't you on the road somewhere?
Yeah, I'm about 170 miles, probably northwest of Padre, South Padre.
Oh, wow. Well, at least it's somewhere cool. I mean, cool isn't warm, but cool isn't really neat.
It doesn't matter. I'm scheduled to get there around 5 o'clock tonight. I speak at 9 o'clock tomorrow, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then I head home again. So it's going to be a quick in and out.
Lots of good thinking time on the road.
Yeah. How did you make out with that one person that Doug was writing about?
That Doug was writing about. You'll have to remind me of the circumstances.
It was an email I sent you yesterday from Catrack, and we'll take it off. We can take it offline. The person that expired.
Oh, yeah, I found a way. There's an equivalency process that they can use, and so I sent them all that information.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hey everyone, this is Donnie, just on the audio track.
We
Hey,
can hear
Donnie,
you.
I can hear you well. Yep.
Oh, that's great. Hey Ray, thanks for getting everything up. Do you have the agenda that you can share, or should I try to share that too?
Yeah, I've got the book open. Let me.
Thank you so much, Ray.
And Donnie, I'm kind
of.
It sounds like you're out of pocket a little bit too. I'm on the side of a highway.
Going
about 170 miles from my final designation, but I'm working off of my phone, so I really can't see much.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'm returning from a destination wedding, and I'm at an airport headed back to the U.S. Yep.
We're so busy.
Yeah.
Aaron, can you see the agenda? I know you're on a computer.
Yep. Yeah, looks good.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Joe House, I was in Pratt last week.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, Joe House, is he here?
Oh,
not yet.
Oh, never mind then. I trying to Filled the time, but
Aaron, where are you housed? Are you out of Cheyenne?
yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep.
I graduated and went to UW.
Awesome. Yeah, me too.
Oh, nice. You graduated from Laramie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too. Awesome.
Nice.
Greg, if you're speaking, I can't hear you. Still don't. Let me see if I can unmute you from here.
There, I may have found it. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
That's weird. It muted in the system. Okay, I think we are getting, it looks like I believe we have a quorum, so we will go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for being here. We are for the Interstate Commission for EMS Personnel Practice. This is the Executive Committee. It is April 3rd. It is 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. And so we will go ahead and do roll call. And I don't believe Commissioner House is on, our secretary. So I will go ahead and do that. Craig Kinney, I am present. Commissioner Wayne Denny.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Joe House has not joined yet. Commissioner Brad Bandaloon. Commissioner Aaron Kaler.
Present.
Present. And Commissioner Joe Schmieder.
I am here.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I could just remind everyone, this is being recorded.
Thank you. So we do have a recording going on. This is a public meeting. Public attendance is encouraged. Microphones are muted upon arrival, and if we need to mute them during the meeting, I authorize our administrator for the meeting. Ray Mollers is filling in for Donnie. He may mute as necessary. Members of the public are encouraged and may speak. I would encourage you to use the raise hand feature, and the chairperson will recognize you. Pierce Commissioner House is in a legislative meeting, so he's going to attempt to join us when he can. When people are called upon to speak after using the raise hand function, then you will be allowed to speak, state your name, your organization. You may make your comment, and we will limit the comments to 2 minutes. Any disruptive behavior, background noise, or inappropriate comments will result in immediate muting of your microphone. With that, we will move on to the business at hand, and we have posted the agenda, and it is being shared right now by Ray. Appreciate that. And any comments on matters not listed on the agenda, please raise your hand and I will recognize you. Okay, seeing no comments. We will move on to an administrative rule change implementation. Donnie, do you want to give an update on that? Are you able to, or I can?
No, absolutely. Chairman Kenny and everyone, you can still hear my audio loud and clear, correct?
Yes, perfect.
Excellent. Yeah. No, the main thing here was just to provide an update that at the February meeting of the full commission, obviously revised administrative rules were adopted with an immediate implementation date. The administrative rules on the website has been updated. They are also added as a reference in the board book that was sent out for today's meeting. We've had no other feedback on that, and I believe it's been a smooth implementation. That was just a placeholder on this agenda to see if there was any questions or comments, or perhaps anything given from Commissioner Schmieder on the rules that were just implemented.
Commissioner Schmieder, do you have anything to add to that summary?
I do not, sir.
Any questions from the group on that? Okay, the first group update we have is on the Privilege to Practice Code of Conduct. And I know I just got some notification on that. I don't know. We have our chairperson is on here, Commissioner Mike Johnson. And then I know Donnie's on here. Either of you want to update on that or would like me to?
I defer to Commissioner Johnson first, and then if not, I can provide an update.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Mike Johnson. We have not met yet. Our first meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 15th, and we will lay out our plans for meeting at that meeting and set the agenda.
Great. Appreciate you guys keeping that moving. So if you did not receive an invite, would like to observe that committee meeting, please let us know. And then Donnie or I can share that with you for that work group. The second work group we have is EMS Workforce Privacy Protection.
Yep.
Donnie, do we have an update on that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We are working with Commissioner Bateman, likewise to get that work group started off. We're going to get the first work group kicked off first, this one will soon follow. And then the one thing I will add is we've added to our website under committees, the work group page. So there's a dedicated page now for the Code of Conduct work group. And that has information about the work group, membership for the work group, resource documents, and meeting information. That's also where public notices will be posted for that work group.
Thank you. Any questions for Donnie on that? Okay, we will move on to reports. The first one we have is Treasurer's Report, and I know there's information submitted in the board meeting book for the executive board. I'll call on Commissioner, well, he is not on. They are listed there. You can see our debits. We did get credit from the National Registry. Donnie, we have an additional credit this time as well, if I'm correct. Is that true?
That's correct. National Registry gave us an additional $10,000 to have to travel in addition to our normal amount. So we're grateful for the continued support. That's been reflected in the balance sheet. Everything else is there in the public version of the balance sheet, and commissioners can access the unredacted version with the check information for every transaction.
Thank you. And I do agree, and we want to express on behalf of the entire commission, thanks to National Registry for their continued support. That additional funding will be important, as Donnie, as we hear with his updates, his frequent travel, but we're making a lot of positive inroads and looking at expanding the commission and our relevance. So appreciate that. We have the February 2024 Executive Committee summary was also in the book. And that was from, again, February 7th, 2024. We have a quick summary of the motions as well as the items that were passed. is there any comments or corrections to the proposed version from the executive committee? Is there a motion to accept the meeting summary?
And Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes.
I would like to offer a correction.
Okay.
Under the work group created, it came to my attention after I sent this out, that for the code of conduct work group, it should also list Commissioner Teresa Wyndham from Mississippi on that as a commissioner, and that was inadvertently left off. I figured we would handle it here, so I'd like to add that into the official record.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the meeting summary with the recommendation of adding the additional work group member?
This is Commissioner Kaler. I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Kaler with the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Denny with the second. So we have first and second. Any further discussion on the meeting summary? Any objections from the executive committee? Any abstentions from the executive committee? We will show the summary for February 7th, 2024 as accepted and can be posted. Moving on to the chair's report. I'm going to leave most of it to Donnie, but I want to commend him and I want to thank Commissioner Schmieder too, pointed out an opportunity for a hearing that was in Texas. And Donnie's he has updated by email, and I know we did review that, but I want to commend him for his work on getting that. We continue, as I've traveled to a few national meetings where we have a lot of positive discussion on the EMS Compact. I went to the NHTSA held an EMS summit to kind of push their programs, and even the compact was discussed there. And so I think there's a lot of positive movement, and we continue in the right path. I think the big things, and I want to commend the bylaws committee, which we're going to hear from Commissioner Schmieder coming up. They continue to be very proactive. And then, of course, we look forward to the annual meeting coming up, and that is the annual meeting for NASIMSO, but we also hold our in-person meeting on site. Like to invite everyone to attend that. It was well attended last year. This year we'll be in Pittsburgh in May, and I want to encourage everyone to attend that if possible, and particularly if you're there, make sure you attend, because we'd love to see everyone's face in person. And so that will be on, I believe that session's on Tuesday, May 4th. And so Donnie did send out a letter to assist if you need help with travel justification. Let either of us know if you need further assistance, because it is vital that we have in-person membership at least one of our meetings. So please try to make that a priority. I will call on Commissioner Schmieder for a bylaws and rules committee update.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity. I just want to say we have a pretty exciting committee that's meeting monthly. Donnie, I would assume we're going to discuss the rule changes a little bit later.
That's correct, sir.
Okay, so we're pushing through some amendments, something that we found at our last meeting that we want to kind of correct sooner than later. But we're looking at section 11.2, the uniform data set, that whole section. We did the major lift back in February. This is now the next level of that. So I'll stop there and fill in as we talk about the proposal that we have pushing forward. Other than to say, we have we've been having great meetings. You try to keep them to an hour and they always go longer. And there's been a lot of input, not just from the committee members, but also from other commissioners as well as the public. So I thank you for that opportunity, and we'll talk more in a couple minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, appreciate the work of the committee and Chairperson Schmieder, but also all the committee members. And I do echo as well the fact that we get commissioners participating. Even today, we have commissioners on here that are not on the executive committee. Appreciate the fact that people are tracking our progress and holding us accountable as we continue to advance the EMS compact. Next up, we have the executive director's report. Turn over to Donnie Woodyard.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. So the first thing is in the board packet, page number 5. Just for the record, you'll see the letter that we submitted to the Committee on Education and Workforce of U.S. Congress, and this was, and also the Committee on Judiciary. And this was in support of the SHARE Act, which is HR 1310, sponsored by Representative Mann and Magoo's. And this was voted on at the C meeting. We did sign. This is the final signatory list of all the agencies that they signed on to this. And we also appreciate council for their work behind the scenes and actually helping inform this federal legislation. So that's just here for the record. That was sent. The next is an update on the House Ways and Means Committee. And as you mentioned, I did attend the in-person meeting with House Ways and Means down in Texas. That was a pretty quick turn, quick opportunity. It was very beneficial for us to be there. And in particular, I had the opportunity to spend a few minutes with every individual on the House Ways and Means Committee. I had the opportunity to provide them background and education on the EMS Compact. We talked about the role of us as a governmental body as a resource for any of the federal legislation that they may be looking at. They did ask about our perspectives on workforce and our perspective on the trajectory of EMS. Following that meeting, and with the attachment for the record, I did submit for the congressional record a full testimony in written format. That testimony is included in the board book here. And the purpose of that testimony was to go over an introduction of the compact, an educational session. I will note that of the House members that I spoke to, unfortunately, none of them had knowledge of the EMS compact, and they quickly understood it once I explained it. So it just shows that we continue to have an education and awareness gap that we need to address. They did see the EMS compact as a very valuable tool that reduces bureaucracy, improves access to emergency health care, and helps to ensure that equitable access to emergency health across the United States is important. So that was submitted and done. The next thing I would mention is I had the opportunity to attend a workforce meeting that was coordinated and sponsored by McFinco, and that was in Columbus, Ohio. One of the things that came out of the workforce meeting was actually a first document on their website that talked about the total number of EMS practitioners in the United States at the EMT level and the paramedic level. And then it says 15 to 20 year projections. And according to their data, it showed that we had approximately 78,000 EMTs in the United States. And furthermore, it shows that within 15 years, we will have a significant surplus of EMS practitioners. We know that that doesn't fully match what the industry knows. So I had the opportunity over the past couple of weeks to have senior executive meetings with the SES staff at HRSA, including the PI for the project, as well as the senior staff. And we talked through some of the challenges with EMS workforce data, some of the problems that they've encountered. And we also talked about the incredible data set that we have that's duplicated a number of states and how our data is significantly different. We not only made good positive progress on that, but we established an informal partnership and again raised awareness. And they did acknowledge that they don't have good primary source data. And so that was a significant advancement The problem of the data will not be fixed overnight, but we have started a journey where over the next time period, I'm confident the positive results from that interaction. I have been invited to provide a briefing to FICA, so I'll be in Washington, D.C. providing that briefing in June. So we continue to make good progress on all these things. So Mr. Chair, I'll answer any questions, otherwise back to you.
I have one question before I open it up. Your written testimony, I thought that was well done. Is that on our website, or any consideration on putting that on our website? Is there a spot we could put it on?
Mr. Chair, I'd be happy to. It's not on our website currently, but I will find an appropriate spot and put that on the website as a resource.
Thank you. Other questions or comments for Donnie? Okay, thank you. Appreciate all the hard work. National EMS Coordinated Database, National Registry, Ray, for an update there.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The report I submitted to Donnie earlier this week shows that those states that are connected are still connected and sending data. We still have several states onboarding. I pretty much have kind of three categories of those states still remaining. I've got Nebraska, Tennessee, and a portion of Nevada in final stages that could go live at any time. I think some of the challenge are firewall issues with their state system or things like that. So those could come live at any time. The second category, having conversations with state offices and their either their vendor or state IT personnel. That's Delaware. The two, because that's a split state, ALS and BLS are split. We have ongoing conversations to bring them on board. North Dakota just went through this last year an update on their system and hope to make some progress starting in mid-May. Pennsylvania, ongoing conversations with them. I think it's just a matter of getting it in their IT queue to bring it forward, to make movement. The last category, Indiana, Oklahoma, and South Dakota on the ALS side, just need to re-engage with those three, and there's just a little bit more challenge with those states, but we are working to create some sort of pathway for them. One of those items on that is to remove, for the licensure transmission of data to NEMSKID, to make the social security number, make the EMS ID number primary and social optional. That project is moving forward. Hopefully we'll have some progress on that in the coming months. And then also on the report are the discipline postings. Those are the states that have posted discipline in NEMSKID, and the number of cases in the last 4 months is reflected there. Barring any questions, that completes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate that extensive report. Any questions that you have regarding the NEMSKID and the report that was given? Okay, we will move on to new business. We have a proposed rule change, and we have added a commission hearing And part of that was due to the fact that according to the bylaws and the statute, the timing of it, we were unable to add it to the May 14th in-person meeting. But it was felt this was important enough that we needed to have a special meeting. So that will be a shorter meeting on June 5th, presumably to hear primarily the rule. But with that, let's go to Donnie, or I guess we'll start with Donnie on the rule that we feel is important that we need to have this special hearing for.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll provide a brief update, then I'd like to go over to the chair of the bylaws committee. It became apparent that there was some confusion. We received some challenge on some of the minimum data sets required for the database. And every state that is connected to the database has been fully compliant in submitting all the data fields requested. And 3 of the fields in particular include mailing address, phone number, and email address. And like I said, every state that has connected has submitted those fields willingly. Those fields are essential for us to be able to conduct the business of the commission. In particular, if an individual is having and enjoying a privileged practice and they're in a remote state, and that remote state needs to contact the individual, having that contact information is absolutely required. We had previously believed that was covered under some of the legislation, and it wasn't fully delineated in the administrative rule. We were challenged on that recently, and so we felt like it was appropriate to provide that clarification. And so you will see a notice of rulemaking, a statement of the purpose that adds mailing address, phone number, and email address to the minimum data set so that we can get those in as soon as possible. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions or we'll refer over to our committee chair.
Commissioner Schmieder.
Yes, really, basically for the committee itself, there was discussion on our last committee meeting. We did some follow-up research after the meeting and found out that these weren't there, that we thought they were there. And this was a quick fix to correct that issue. So it wasn't any attempt to try to do something without having conversation. We just felt that because of the seriousness of it, it was important enough that we get this done sooner than later. So Donnie works some magic here with hit the 60-day notice, the whole 9 yards. So, and we can talk more about it at the annual meeting if anybody has any questions. But I think the committee chair supports this move. I have not taken an official vote from the committee, but I don't think there will be some pushback. This is again is another cleanup. That's all I have.
Thank you. Appreciate the work. I know, it was shown, and sometimes that happens, shown that something we do and accepted isn't really something that we have written down on there. And I think it's a good idea to get it codified into that. But certainly we have some time. That's the positive of having that 60-day window. People can review it. It is posted, but certainly it'll give time for bylaws committee. And we may take a deeper dive as the executive committee as we get a little closer, and we can certainly look at the in-person meeting on May 14th. Any questions or comments anyone has on that rule change as of this point? Okay. Next new business is our second quarter 2024 commission meeting will be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in conjunction with the NACIMSO annual meeting. That is on May 14th, and it's in the afternoon. And last time we have a nice room. We have plenty of space. We hope to see people there in person discussing. Donnie, any other updates with regards to that in-person meeting that you would like to add?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. I think we do have to finalize the agenda here relatively soon. I do have a draft agenda posted. The other point of direction is, do we just make this an in-person meeting, or do we try to also have video conferencing? Sometimes there are challenges in hotels of getting the video conferencing set up for just this one particular meeting. I think that we'll probably have a strong quorum present. We are not voting on any administrative or bylaw changes, nor are we conducting elections. And so if we had the flexibility of an in-person only, that might help with technology challenges that could exist, but I'm happy to help either way.
Any comments on that? Given that we don't have pressing rule change or something like that, I am personally wondering about avoiding the challenges of a dual virtual with an in-person, but I also like to be inclusive. So I want to open it up. If there are people that know they cannot attend, but would like to participate in the compact session there, then please let us know. Thank you, Bobby. Sorry you will not be able to attend that. Okay, please let us know, let Donnie or I or both of us know your feelings on that. You can do that, email, text, call us. But yeah, think about that and we will make a decision and get that out. That completes that part. As I transition to partner organization updates, I see we do have some various groups on here. I don't know who would like to give an update, so I think this is an example where the easiest is if you can use the raise hand feature. If you would like to update us on what is going on with your partner organization, use that raise hand feature and I will recognize you and you may give us a quick update for our benefit. No one's doing anything. No. I know everyone's doing good work, so thank you. And thank you all for being on here. We do appreciate having everyone on here. Does anyone have any other matters for this meeting before I consider an adjournment?
Mr. Chair, just a quick update. The letters have been added to the website under resources, and we have the share letter and the testimony. So that has been implemented.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you getting that done so quickly. Okay, then I will go ahead and consider a motion to adjourn.
It's Commissioner Kaler, I will motion.
Okay, motion. And then I saw Commissioner Denny, I think. I will go ahead and thank you. For the record, we will go ahead and consider us adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for being on here. Again, very hopeful we can have a decent turnout or a solid turnout at the May 14th full in-person. We will have a May 1st, presumably have a May 1st executive committee meeting virtual as well. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you. Have a good week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.